How insignificant we feel at times. When we look around us at the astounding display of talent in others, we have the temptation to slink away to a corner and hope no one notices. Some have a voice that rivals angels. Some possess athletic genes that make them perpetual MVPs. Others were blessed with brains that actually work. They can conjugate verbs, spell onomatopoeia, solve Rubik's Cubes, explain E equals MC squared, tell us where Jimmy Hoffa is buried, and bake cakes that won't kill anyone, and even invent the very first teleporter. While the rest of us can be intimidated against such a colossus of skills, we can seem so small when compared to others. The great news for those of us less gifted types is that God does not see us as either small or insignificant. Quite the contrary. In fact, when He calls us to do something that we are utterly unprepared for, He doesn't wince like an orchestral conductor when his first chair hits a sour note. With God, expertise is secondary. What's primary is our time and obedience. To God, your availability is more important than your capability. Scripture gives us many examples of this. In the Old Testament book of Jeremiah, we witness a young prophet in the making resisting God. He disputes being qualified as God's spokesman to the nation. This vignette is found in Jeremiah's first chapter, verses 6 to 8. Jeremiah explains, "Alas, sovereign Lord, I said, I do not know how to speak, I am too young. But the Lord said to me, do not say, I am too young. You must go to everyone I send you to, and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord." Jeremiah likely did what we are prone to do. He imagined dignitaries posing tough questions for which he had no answers. He probably envisioned angry mobs crowding him and where he would have no way of escape. He imagined every possible way his mission could go awry and the subsequent humiliation he would feel. And yet, this is when God reminds Jeremiah and us who He is. If He calls us to do something, He simply wants our availability, not our capability. The capability will come in its time. First comes obedience and a willing spirit. It is a compelling argument that we are not alone. If God has given you an assignment that you know in your soul you must do, then muster your courage and do it. Moses emboldens us with these comforting words from God, when God Himself declares, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." I don't know about you, but that's pretty comforting. This dependency on God's support can be powerfully illustrated by this amazing story about the renowned pianist Paderewski. Wishing to encourage her young son's progress on the piano, a mother took the small boy to a concert to hear the famous pianist Paderewski. After they were seated, the mother spotted a friend in the audience and walked down the aisle to greet her. Seizing the opportunity to explore the wonders of the concert hall, the little boy rose and eventually explored his way through a door that was marked "No Admittance." When the house lights dimmed and the concert was about to begin, the mother returned to her seat and, to her utter shock, discovered that her son was missing. Suddenly, the curtains parted and the spotlights focused on the impressive Steinway piano on the stage. And in horror, the mother saw her little boy sitting at the keyboard. Innocently, he then began to play the only song he knew, Chopsticks. You remember that? Playing that song? The crowd reacted with anger. Some shouts were heard. "Take the boy away! Who is bringing a little boy to a concert?" When Paderewski heard the uproar backstage, he grabbed his coat and rushed to the stage. Realizing what was going on, he went to the piano and, reaching around the little boy from behind, this master began to improvise a counter melody to Chopsticks. As the two of them played together, Paderewski kept whispering in the boy's ear, "Keep going. Don't quit, son. Don't stop. Don't stop." Together, the old master and the little boy transformed an embarrassing situation into a wonderfully creative experience. The audience was spellbound. My friend, this is who God is and what He does. We approach life with our meager talent and limited knowledge and believe we have so little to offer. But a little offered freely for God to bless can be much. He can magnify and multiply the return on our labor and produce a yield far greater than we could all on our own. Our loving Father is simply waiting to upgrade our efforts from tiny to titanic. The instruction is simple. Listen to God's voice in your ear. That mission you embarked on, keep going. Don't quit. Don't stop. Keep playing. That calling you believe God gave you, keep going. Don't stop. That new way of serving people with God's love, keep going. Don't quit. Keep playing. As we do, God can improvise a counter melody to our simple chopsticks and instantly compose a masterpiece that will mesmerize the world. So the next time you are tempted to quit or believe you have little to offer, just remember, your availability is more important than your capability.